this guy's got some stuff going on his website, and he's just taking it from his website and he's pulling it directly into ActiveRain. And as we look at this again, it kind of comes back to this post where we were seeing that there's not really a lot of like sentence structure or paragraphs in here where the search engines can really kind of wrap their head around the piece of content and say, this is something that I'd want to return for my searcher. I want to take you in here, and I'm gonna head over to Safari for a second, and I'm gonna do the search that somebody might do that would lead them to that piece of content. And before I do that, I always want to remind you guys that when you're checking your posts, you're checking, did it rank? Am I doing the right things to get it on that first page? You really want to make sure that you're using a clean browser, okay? So over here on Firefox, I'm kind of showing you guys around. I'm logged into ActiveRain. I've been bouncing all around ActiveRain. I'm logged into my Google account, so they know who I am. They know my past behavior. Google knows every single thing I've ever done when I'm logged into my Google account, so they're going to manipulate my results a little bit when I do searches out of Google on Firefox. But coming back over to Safari, I use this as my clean browser, and so what I'll do is before I ever kind of set off for any kind of searches, I'll make sure that I just clear out all of the kind of things in there, the cache and the cookies, and I'm removing the top sites. I'm just getting all that information out of my browser so that the search engine really can't see any of my past behavior in there. And I'll go ahead and hit reset. So boom, that reset my browser there. And then what I also like to do is I like to keep private browsing on, and I do that because as I'm going to bounce through here for the next little bit, we are going to give the search engine some information about who we are and what we're doing, and they will use that, again, to manipulate the results that we get. So homes for sale at Brier Pines in Hampshire, maybe we could add Illinois in here or something. It's not going to really change it a whole heck of a lot. As we go down here, you see the ActiveRain post here in this position. I want you to notice, though, that he had pulled this from his website, and if we were to see, if I run my cursor over right there, if you look down the very bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you'll see that it says homesbymarco.com. So this guy's website, who is this, Marco, would make sense that his website would be Homes by Marco. As we look over here on the search engine results, what I want you to see is his result, and it's actually the exact same thing that we're seeing in the blog. So he's taken this bit of content out of his website and he's placed it in his blog post, and it's got some links back to this piece of content, but he's essentially taken two of the top five or six spots in here. So there's this whole kind of debate about duplicate content, and Google has said, oh, they used to say, hey, you can post your stuff in different places, just point from one place back to the other place. So whatever you would like us to rank, point from there back to, or point from the duplicate back to the original. Well, with Panda and Penguin, they came through and they kind of have alluded to the fact that they're not going to show the same piece of content in the search results anymore. The problem with that is we still see them doing it. Now, I would say tread very carefully in this department. I think the reality is at a very baseline, they're going to just take one or the other. But right now, they're still taking, both pieces of content, because what we see is this is the exact same piece of content as this over here. Now, this has some other stuff on the page, and, he's probably going to have some other stuff on the page over here. The pages don't look 100% the same, but the bulk of the content is very similar. Now, in this case where he's, homes for sale at Brier Pines, and Brier Pines is like a subdivision inside of Hampshire, so he's gotten very, very hyper-local, right? And there's not a whole lot of people that are producing content at this very hyper-local level, but he's able to get it to rank even though he doesn't necessarily have kind of that good sentence structure and some of those different things that we've talked about, right? The link utilizing his keyword phrase and So sometimes when you get hyperlocal enough, you can do these bad things. Now, we don't want to make a habit out of doing these, because as other people come along and create content that's a little bit richer for the search engines, it's generally going to kind of bump us down the page. But, we can get away from taking some of the content that we've, especially if it's in a real nice presentable format like Marco has here, and we can utilize that in our blog posts to really secure another position on this first page of the search engines.